Greetings, timeshare travelers. This video is what I call 3 winning timeshare tips for beginners. I'm writing this, doing this video for a lot of people that are maybe new to timesharing and feel frustrated with the sales experience and whatever. And I want to try to give you really basic guidance on what to do with regards to timeshares. And it really comes down to 3 things that I think are at least a rule to follow till you get more experienced. And that is, use the points that you paid for kind of a long-term view. You know, find out the length, how far out you can book it, and book those vacations, and then you'll get more likely get the ones you want to get and be less frustrated. For more close-in vacations in the 2-month window, 1.5, 2 months, maybe 3. Use the exchange network, and they allow you to buy with rates, and I often get them below $400 a week, which is a really good price if you think about having a nice timeshare for $400 a week. In fact, in some cases, it's less than your maintenance costs for a week. And then the last sort of quick tip, my top 3 is to get the credit cards for the timeshare. Almost every one of them is tied to a hotel chain. All of mine are. And use a credit card to get yourself hotel stays and get yourself getaway weekends type things. And then the last I'll have at the end of the video, I have what I call bonus ideas at the end of the video. Then you should look at those because they're kind of like the next level after you do the basic things. So with that, let me tell you a little bit about my channel, and then I'll dig into the details of each one of those 3 items.
Hi, this is Cliff, and I'm your timeshare traveler. The goal of my YouTube channel is improving your timeshare travels. I'll do this through timeshare video reviews, tips for using timeshares, and much, much more. I can be found on Facebook at TimeshareTrav, Twitter at TimeshareTrav, and on the web at www.timesharetraveler.com. And if you like my videos, don't forget to click subscribe below.
Okay, let me dive into detail. The first thing is using your timeshare points to get the places you dreamed about, and that really requires booking far in advance. So the things what I've found is getting best properties requires booking far in advance. And what I do is I actually go in and try to pretend, even when I'm not trying to book, I go out and take a look at what the properties, and each timeshare has like 2 or 3 or 4 that are hard to get into. In general, Hawaii is more difficult than other places, but you can get Arizona in the middle of the summer. You can get North Carolina, South Carolina in the hurricane season. Those are very, very easy to do. So you just sort of learn about that. So I practice it, and again, I always try to give myself 2 or 3 options. I have my favorites that I go for. And I even know that one of my timeshares is if you get up at 7 in the morning, you can almost always get the booking that you want. So I've gotten my Christmas whenever I wanted to get it, where I wanted to get it. So you can do those kind of things. And here's what you need to know. How far ahead can I book? So you can get what you want. So each timeshare company has different rules depending on what you purchased. And what's the last date I can cancel without losing the points? So that because you're planning ahead, and then as you get close, maybe life has changed and you got to it's not going to work anymore, kind of thing. And again, I always test booking, so that's what I would recommend for everyone. And then just in the next section, I'm going to go through 2 examples. I'll walk through 2 that I own, which is Hilton and Marriott. They're 2 of the main ones. I have others as well, but those are the 2 I'll go through. So let me do a deep dive into those. Okay, now let's go into a little detail with a couple examples. First, the general rules, and these are not all the rules, but I just try to keep it to the basics. The Hilton general rules are the home week, which is the place where you purchased, and you can do that out a year in advance to 276 days, which is roughly 9 months. So from 12 months to 9 months, you have a bit of an advantage. they call the open season, which is from 276 to 61 days. And that's really the whole network opens up for you. And I've found most of the time, can't not 100%, but I've been able to get what I want in that window. And again, Hilton, they have so no changes within 60 days, and there become penalties, and there's specifics, and I'm not going to go through all of that right now because I'm just trying to give basics. And then one thing nice about Hilton is within 30 days, you can actually pay cash to get some room. That's really the way they use to move any inventory that's not been used. So when looking at Marriott, they have a 12-month in advance. They do allow 13, but there's a premium you have to pay for that. You can cancel up to 60 days before arrival, so very similar to Hilton. And they have competitive, so it's not surprising. If you do cancel within 60 days, they have a little more flexibility. They put their points into kind of a holding options, and you have less choices for using them going forward. So those are the two, just giving you two examples. And everyone's a little bit different, but just kind of those are the things you want to know. How far out can I book? When do I pay fees? Because that way you still have the flexibility of changing if the plans change because you are booking out far in advance. And then what's the impact within the making a change within the close window. Okay, the next thing we're going to talk about is how you can get additional vacations out of your ownership. And every one of the timeshare groups I own has either a relationship with Interval International or RCI. And these are, to me, a lot of people don't take advantage of this because it's not talked a lot about. But really, you can get a great vacations. I have a favorite place actually that's in RCI, and I'm going to be doing it in a little more than a month. And you can book within 45 to 60 days, and you typically get, I just booked the one I just mentioned, for $323 for a week, which is about, that's a very good price. That's, a little bit more than $40, $45 a night roughly. And there's no limit to how often you can do this, because you're really working on inventory that's not moving. That's how you get the prices. And again, you can get off-season deals like Arizona summer ski locations in the spring or fall, and those typically are less than $400 a night. In fact, I know a person that was in Arizona in the summer, and he was actually using timeshares because he wanted to see if he wanted to move to Arizona, and he figured he could handle the summer in the timeshares, and he could handle moving there, which he was having a great time. Every week he was getting a deal for $400 a week at a Sheraton in Arizona. But anyway, that's how you can use the exchange network, and that's often not understood specifically for beginners. And I have a whole video that I have for how to use those things, and I'll put that in the notes in the video. Okay, real quickly, I happen to include two samples of one from the first one is Interval International, showing how you can get the Sheraton for less than $400. It's a one bedroom. It's a wonderful place. I have a review of it. You can see that in my other videos. And then on the right, the next one, sorry, not on the right, but on the next one is the RCI, and that's an example in Las Vegas. Again, I just picked one, and you can see it's around $300, although they do add tax, so it ends up being a little bit over $300 for one bedroom for the week. So those are great prices, both of them. And that's how, again, examples of screens from both Interval and RCI, so you can see a sample of what would be possible. Welcome back, and now I'm going to talk about credit cards. So Hilton, I'm just using the same one, Hilton and Marriott, and I've got examples of their credit cards. I'll go through that in great detail here. But just on a summary level, typically when you get a credit card, you get 2 to 3 nights, depending on where you would stay, and it's a number of points when you sign up for it. Paying for maintenance fees and other expenses, you can earn 2 additional nights a week. And again, I'll go through the cards for Hilton and Marriott, just staying with my theme of using them as examples. And Marriott, and for example, actually Marriott and Hilton, most of their credit cards, or some of their credit cards, give you a free night every year. And actually that turns out to be that free night is typically more valuable than any of the fees you pay for the credit cards. So anyway, that's very important. That way you line everything up, and you just, by living, you end up with additional free nights. And people often say, timeshare, you have to get a whole week. It's very difficult. Well, use the credit cards and get your weekend stays by hotels. Hi. So now I'm going to go through the two examples of two companies' credit cards, and that's Hilton and Marriott. So starting first with Hilton, you have the Hilton Honors Express card, the Express Surpass, and then the Express Aspire card. And when you first get them, you get 100,000 points for the Express card, 150,000 for the Surpass, and the Aspire card. And the main points there, what distinguishes them with the Surpass, you get 12 times the points, and with the Aspire, you get 14 times the points. You get statement credits, as you can see. So that's really fundamentally what's different with them. Point out that the fees for the card on the left is 0, 95, and then 450. The perks, with the 450, you get a night anywhere you want to stay, and that's actually one of the cards I have. I have the one on the left with the 0 fees, and I use that actually. Surprisingly enough, it has the best rate for. It gives you 5 points when you buy groceries. Otherwise, it's less, and I use it if I have a large purchase that might exceed the credit limit on the Aspire. But the Aspire card gives you free breakfast, which is really what Platinum's all about. You get a free night stay anywhere, and I've used that to stay at a $600 a night place, so it easily covers it. And it's kind of this is the only card I have that's kind of a wild, extravagant card. The rest are pretty much basic cards that I have. And I do have a whole, I'll list in the description, I have a video on how to earn lots of points with credit cards. So that's the Hilton cards. Also, Marriott has 3 cards: the Boundless credit card, the Bold, and the Brilliant. So I have 2 of the Boundless, and they have the $95 fee, and I actually have one from SPG and one from Marriott. So when they merged, I kept them both. And the reason I have that one is it gives me 1 free night, and so that free night typically is worth $150. So the fact that I pay $95 but I get $150 out of it is a good deal. I didn't go with the no fee mostly because I wanted the larger bonus to $75,000, and I wanted the free night. And the luxury one gives me gold status, which doesn't give me free food. So end of the day, at some of the hotels I wouldn't get free food. So that really was the high end, which does still give you 1 free night at a more exclusive one. But I preferred, when I was only going to do one or the other, I preferred the Hilton version. Anyway, I have other credit cards, and I have, like I say, I'll put a link in the description for the credit cards. But this is, again, general, one of the things you should do as far as when you're using timeshares. Make sure you get the credit card. Welcome again. So those of you who've endured all of my video here, let me leave you with a few bonus. You've earned it. And here's my bonus ideas. Attend sales presentations without the intention of purchasing. Know if you're going to buy and you want to extend, know that before you go in. I often earn 2 free nights in hotels or even 2 free nights in timeshares by attending a presentation. Take the marketing tours. I've had a wonderful concert and great meals. I meet other timeshare people. And then, of course, you're going to have to sit through a timeshare presentation, but it's like $99 for 4 days, 3 nights. So it's not bad. Again, you don't buy on the spur of the moment. You think through what you need. So if you're finding, if I figured out the long term, I'm making this work, but I really would like to do a 2-bedroom, and I only bought enough for a 1-bedroom because now my kids are grown and now their families I want them to join me. And so you add what you need in order to do that. The last and most important thing, I can't overstress this, TUG, which stands for Timeshare User Group. Join that. It's $15 a year. It's actually free to look at some of the comments, but really you get access to people who've been timesharing for 2 years, 20 years, about 50, but for a long time, or have had, timeshares when they were kids, and then they own the timeshares when they're, because often the timeshares pass to your children once you die. Anyway, so those are my bonus ideas. Thanks for staying in there. Again, I appreciate it if you would subscribe to my channel if you enjoy these kind of videos. I'll be making many more of them for beginners, as well as I have other tips and techniques. And happy timeshare traveling.